So when new sets and new products come out, sometimes card prices, well, can be quite affected by them. So on this episode, I'm going to be telling you what cards you should be picking up right now. Cards that are finally, well, many of these cards finally within my own budget restrictions of being less than $1. And then I'll even talk about some cards that are just outside of that restriction that have also had massive price drops recently. And of course, make sure you check out my link in the description below for all the cards I'm talking about on this episode. And yeah, consider picking up some of those while their prices are down. So with all that said, let's jump into it. So, a huge thank you to Ere United Commander because, well, we've got a lot of exciting reprints that have dropped the price quite significantly on some great cards like, Oketra's Monument. This is a fantastic card for decks that, well, have a lot of white creature spells because it helps reduce the cost of those. But of course, on top of that, whenever you're casting any creature spell, you get a 1/1 Warrior with Vigilance, which of course can really help out for decks that would like to go wide. So this can be a massive token generator, and yeah, this card has not seen a reprint up until now. Its original Amonkhet version was getting quite expensive. This is definitely a card that, well, I utilized in quite a few builds back in the day, but more recently, well, this has definitely been well outside of $1. And yeah, with this new reprint, it is just 71 cents. So really quick, let's take a look at the MTG stocks chart on Oketra's Monument, and as you can see, yeah, it has been quite some time since this card was underneath $1, and as of recently, well, this card's price kind of spiked, back between April and July, went above $4 at one point. But yeah, now thanks to the reprinted version of it, you can get it for less than $1. So again, if you are in a deck that has a bunch of white creatures and ones that you want to reduce the cost of, or again, a deck that wants to make a bunch of tokens and is going to be casting some creature spells, make sure you pick this one up. Moving on though, we've got a fantastic board wipe with Merciless Eviction, and yeah, I cannot tell you the last time I remember this card being this cheap. Merciless Eviction's a very flexible board wipe. Choose one, exile artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers, so yeah, very flexible for whatever situation that you need. And again, this card, being the fantastic board wipe that it is, has seen, well, a decent amount of reprints, but its price just always seems to keep creeping up. But at this point, you can get it for the low cost of just 47 cents. And it hasn't been near that price for quite some time. So yeah, Merciless Eviction, again, a card that does see a decent amount of play, really hasn't been anywhere near this budget friendly for quite some time. And its price has, well, it has gone up and down over the years. I mean, this card has gone all the way up to around $4 or so. Some reprints have knocked it down, but not to this amount. So before this printing, I mean, the price was around $2 or so, and now, yeah, you can get it for the low cost of just 2/4, 50 cents or so. So if you're looking for a flexible board wipe in Orzhov, make sure you're considering this one. And speaking of another card in Orzhov, but one that serves a completely different purpose, there's Primeval's Glorious Rebirth. This legendary sorcery is incredible in legendary tribal decks. It basically just brings back all your legendary permanent cards from your graveyard right to the battlefield. So yeah, a one-sided mass reanimation effect. This card can be incredible in the right deck, again, in legendary tribal decks. Now, that being said, the popularity of legendary tribal decks and the different commanders that can work with them has definitely gone up over the years. So with that, so has the demand for this card, again, which used to be a very budget-friendly card, was starting to creep its way up in price. But today, you can get it for exactly 2/4, again, 50 cents for this card. Now, for quite some time, again, this card has been outside of my budget range. I mean, it did actually kind of creep back in until, some commanders were printed, essentially. But yeah, recently it's been around $1.50 or more. Finally, with this reprint, it is back down to within my budget range, even at 50 cents. So if you've got a legendary tribal matters deck, make sure you pick this one up. Next up, really quick, how about a commander that actually saw a reprint with Sorak Dragonclaw? It can help you get your creature spells through, as well as give them trample, so yeah, I mean, this card can actually be a heavy hitter itself too. So not only does it see play as a commander, but it definitely sees play in the 99 of creature-based strategies as well. And with its reprint in Ere United Commander, it is finally underneath $1 at 89 cents. And of course, keep in mind, this is the first time this card has actually seen a reprint since all the way back in Khans of Tarkir, so it's been quite a while. So of course, as you can see, while this card used to be somewhat budget friendly again, at least just right outside of my own budget restrictions, it definitely started creeping up and got to around $3 or even $4 at certain points. So with this reprint, you're getting a massive amount of savings. So if you are looking for a creature that can help out your creature decks, or if you've always wanted to build a deck around Sorak Dragonclaw, make sure you pick this one up sooner rather than later. Moving on, how about Coalition Relic, a fantastic mana rock that has seen a decent amount of printings lately actually, but now its price has gotten to rock bottom compared to where this card has been. Essentially, this is a mana rock that can kind of store up an additional mana for your next turn, so basically it's a mana rock that can in some ways tap for 2. On top of that, it's also one that can work with certain mechanics like, proliferating, etc, so yeah, this card can see a good amount of play in Commander. But now with this Ere United Commander reprint, it's just 59 cents currently, and I cannot tell you the last time, or if ever, since I've been playing Commander, when it has been anywhere near that price. Now, as you can see again, over the years, it has seen a decent amount of reprints. I mean, this card used to be a $6 card for quite some time. And again, with those reprints start dropping down lower and lower and lower, getting to around $4 and then eventually around $2. But again, like I said, I cannot remember a time, if ever, this card has been anywhere near this budget friendly. So if you're looking for a fantastic mana rock for one of your decks, make sure you check this one out. Again, just 59 cents currently. And speaking of mana rocks, and one that, well, hasn't seen a reprint ever, and one that has gotten more and more expensive as time has gone on, let's talk about Honor-Worn Shaku. This one can just tap for a colorless, and you can tap an untap legendary permanent you control, like your commander, to untap it so you can tap it again. This card, again, has never seen a reprint up until now, so its original version was, creeping up in price, especially like I mentioned with Primeval's Glorious Rebirth, as more and more legendary tribal matters decks started getting, popular. This one started going up in price. So if you have one of those decks or planning on building one of those decks or just has a commander that wants to be tapped for one reason or another, consider this now just 52-cent card. Because as you can see, yeah, this card has seen quite the journey when it comes to price. I mean, years and years and years ago, this used to be, around $1. Eventually, it spiked to around $5 or $6, eventually settled recently to around $2. And yeah, now with this reprinting, much, much cheaper, even within my own budget constraints, at less than $1.52. Nevertheless, next up we've got Felwar Stone, yet another mana rock, and a fantastic one at that hadn't seen reprints for quite some time and is starting to see more and more reprints, thankfully, because this is an incredible mana rock that, well, if it doesn't keep seeing reprints, like, other certain mana rocks out there, it is going to keep creeping up in price and stay outside of my budget restrictions, and I really, really, really would like this to stay within them. This is a 2-mana mana rock that you can tap right away, and at times this can tap for every single one of your colors. So yeah, an incredibly efficient and effective mana rock, and right now it is just 60 cents, and in comparison to where this one has been, that is very cheap. As Commander has gotten more and more popular, cards like this one have spiked in price. I mean, just as early as last year, this card was around $6 because of just how effective and how efficient it is. Now, like I mentioned, this card has seen quite a few reprints which have tanked its price a decent amount, but with this last reprint, I mean, it absolutely destroyed its price. Now it's just 60 cents again, basically 1/10 of the price from where it was a little over a year ago, which is just absolutely crazy. So yeah, if you're looking for an efficient, effective mana rock, look no further than Felwar Stone, and make sure you're picking this one up sooner rather than later. But next up, let's talk about a fantastic land, which has seen its first reprint ever with Bad River. Bad River is an interesting kind of fetch land that actually enters the battlefield tapped, and then you sacrifice it on your next turn, or whenever you can, tap and sacrifice it next, so you can get a land in a play untapped. In this case, an island or a swamp. And of course, note that this does not specify basic land, so have fun going and getting whatever island or swamp you want, whether that's a shock or something else. Regardless, a very effective fetch land, and again, one that has never seen a reprint up until now. So yeah, now this card is just 71 cents. and I don't think this card has actually ever been budget-friendly since I've been playing Commander personally. And by budget-friendly, I mean, underneath my $1 deck restrictions. You know what I mean? Now, Bad River's price has fluctuated. I mean, it has been at one point around $4 or so, around $3 recently, and again, finally with this reprint, less than $1 even at just 71 cents. So yeah, again, if you've got a deck that maybe cares about landfall, or a deck that wants to go get specific, islands or swamps, or you just want a fetch land that can really help you fix your mana, make sure you check this one out. So, in a somewhat similar way, we've got Mountain Valley, which basically does the exact same thing, except for it's a mountain or forest. Now, unlike Bad River, this one has seen a reprint, but again, I do say a reprint, as in back in 2018 with the Commander product. So finally, 4 years later, we are getting yet another reprint to bring its price back down. And of course, like I mentioned with Bad River, yeah, landfall decks can really utilize a card like this, and the vast majority of landfall decks out there include green. So yeah, I mean, if you've got your Omnath deck and you've wanted a Mountain Valley, great, go pick one up. Because again, like Bad River, though this one has seen a single reprint, its price was still around $2 or so before this reprint. So yeah, that is quite the savings right there, around 61 cents now. So yeah, pick this one up soon. Next up, a land that I absolutely love. Now let's talk about Tyrite Sanctum. Tyrite Sanctum essentially can make target legendary creature a god, and then once it is a god, give it an indestructible counter, which of course is a great way to protect that creature. So this land can of course fit in any deck out there because again, it is a colorless land, or again I should say maybe a land that has no color identity. So of course, great in colorless decks, but also great in decks that really could utilize a utility land that can protect your commander. So if you can spare a land spot for this, yeah, I mean a 1-color or 2-color deck can easily do that. A great card to consider. And of course, as you can see over time, the price on this one has steadily climbed, getting to up around $2 even at one point. So yeah, I'm happy to see this one reprinted. Now just 48 cents. Hopefully this one stays budget for quite a long time because again, especially for, well, colorless, yes, and also monocolor decks, I do really enjoy having the option to utilize this fantastic card. Next up though, really quick, Battlefield Forge is a great land, especially for Boros decks out there. It can either tap for a colorless or tap for either red or white, but deals 1 damage to you. There aren't too many lands out there that can actually just tap for multiple colors right away, so yeah, this card can actually help out in a lot of circumstances, and 1 damage isn't really all that much, especially in a game like Commander where you start with 40 life. So a pain land like this one, of course, sees a decent amount of play, and because that, well, its price just keeps going up, and then every single time it gets reprinted, finally becomes budget again, and then its price goes up. So yeah, now is the time. It has been reprinted in Dominator United Commander, just 61 cents right now, so pick this one up. And really quick on mtgstocks.com, you can see, yeah, I mean, again, over time, even with these reprints, the price just does creep back up again and again and again. This one getting up to $2 as of recently, finally the reprint dropping it back down to a more reasonable, again, 61 cents. So pick this one up. And finally, let's talk about the Abzan land, Murmuring Bosque. It's actually a forest, so of course it does tap for a green, but this actually is a land that can actually also tap for white or black, but deals 1 damage to you, so again, kind of like Battlefield Forge. And of course, on top of that, if you are in a Treefolk tribal deck, you've got a good chance of this actually even coming into play untapped. So again, with this being a forest, it is a land that you can tutor for with certain cards, and also it can tap for essentially 3 colors. And again, if you're Treefolk tribal, yeah, this is a fantastic card for you. So yeah, just 73 cents right now. It has not been anywhere near that price for quite a long time. Yeah, having not seen a reprint really since, Commander Anthology 2, which was quite some time ago, its price has been well over, $1 for quite some time, getting up to $2, and then eventually even $3 recently. So yeah, with this reprint, finally dropping it back down to a much more reasonable 73 cents. But now let's move on to some cards that are over $1, again, over my $1 threshold, but have still seen a massive price discount because of a recent reprint. And let's start things off with Fabbro Elder. This is a fantastic mana dork that can essentially, once you're set up properly, tap for a basically, 5 mana, 1 mana of each color. So yeah, this card is incredible in a lot of situations, and really can be broken in some as well, going infinite with certain combinations. So yeah, this card definitely sees a lot of play, has never seen a reprint until now, and now it is just $1.45 thanks to the printing in Dominator United Commander. And of course, as we can see on mtgstocks.com with this chart, yeah, I mean, this card hasn't even been near $2 for quite some time, and its price has fluctuated probably between about $2 and $4 over the past year or so. But yeah, recently its price has been around $4, so that is quite the discount, getting all the way down to $1.45. So if you're looking for a fantastic mana dork or a great combo piece, make sure you check this one out. Next up, we've already talked about another monument earlier with Okettra's Monument, but now it's time for Pontus Monument, which is an incredible card in Commander. Black creature spells cost 1 less to cast, and whenever you cast a creature spell, you drain each opponent 1. Like Okettra's Monument, though, this card has not seen a reprint up until now, and unlike Okettra's Monument, its price was even higher. Currently, with that reprint, it is $1.49, so not quite within my budget restrictions, but here's hoping that maybe one day this gets another reprint and is back down into budget territory. I mean, as you'll see, this card, has been nowhere near even $1 for quite some time, going between, $3 all the way up to over $6, recently around $5 or $6 or so, but yeah, with this most recent reprint, finally back near budget territory again at $1.49. So if you're looking for a way to save on black creature spells or a way to drain your opponents very quickly in a creature-based strategy, Pontus Monument is an incredible card. Moving on, I've already talked about a couple of cards in this episode so far, that work well with legendary tribal decks, and yeah, those decks are becoming more and more popular as of recent, so Day of Destiny is a great reprint and one that can really help those decks out. It's a very simple legendary gem that gives legendary creatures you control +2/+2, so a great Anthem effect. And currently, this card is just $1.72. And this card's price has been nowhere near that for quite some time. Again, originally printed in Betrayers of Kamigawa, that was quite a long time ago. It has not seen any reprints up until now. So, as you can see, this card, at least 2 years ago even, was still over $3. Recently, got to up nearly $8. Settled recently around $5, but still, with this most recent reprint, finally, somewhat near my budget territory again at $1.72, regardless, a lot cheaper than it has been, and has been for quite some time. So if you're thinking about building a Legendary Tribal Matters deck, or if you already have one, consider picking up Day of Destiny now. Next up, a card that is just outside of my budget restrictions, unfortunately, but hopefully, maybe it drops here in a little bit. Anyways, Night's Whisper, an incredible draw spell. Sorcery for just 2 mana, draw 2, lose 2. Sign in Blood sees a ton of play. Now, that card is slightly more flexible in that you can target an opponent, but it is, more restrictive in its casting cost. This one is easier to cast. And yeah, this card would see a lot more play if it was much more budget friendly like Sign in Blood. So now's the time. Yeah, pick this one up. It's only $1.02. Again, really hoping this one drops 3 cents, so I can start using it. But, either that or, they reprint it. And hopefully it goes down even further in price. But yeah, I would love to utilize Night's Whisper, a fantastic draw spell. As you can see, over the years, this card has fluctuated a little bit in price, spiking at one point to over $6. And eventually with some reprints has been knocked down a little bit, finally getting knocked down to its lowest price that I've pretty much ever seen this card, I feel like, since I've been playing Commander at least, to $1.02. Again, would love to see it slightly cheaper just so I can utilize it, but for now, if you are looking for a great draw spell, make sure you pick this one up. Moving on, how about Generous Gift, a fantastic removal spell, basically Beast Within, but in white, and, making an elephant instead of a beast. That really doesn't matter all that much, really, unless someone's playing Beast or Elf Tribal, but yeah, a great removal spell, now just $1.30 with this reprinting. This card actually somehow started off budget-friendly underneath my $1 restriction when it was initially printed, but it quickly rose in price, and even with some reprintings, it still has, for the most part, stayed out of my budget restriction. But yeah, $1.30, it is getting there, and it is definitely a great card to pick up now. Quickly looking at the MTGstocks.com price, yeah, again, at one point this card was within my budget, back before, 2021 essentially. But yeah, over time, rising up to around $2 or $3, and here's hoping, another reprint or so can put it back within my budget territory. At this point, though, $1.30, still a good discount from where this has been. Moving on, let's talk about a reprinted land, finally reprinted with Cascading Cataractes. This card came out all the way back in Amonkhet, has not seen a reprint since, and it is incredible land, especially for 5-color decks. It's indestructible, tests for colors, and it can help you filter your mana to essentially, add 5 mana in any combination of colors, so it can really help with mana fixing. Currently, this card is $1.86, which is a massive discount compared to where it has been. As you can see on this chart, it has been nowhere near this price for, well, at least about 2 years or so, over 2 years even. I mean, this card has gotten up to over $6, and before this reprinting was right around there as well. So yeah, $1.86 is quite the discount as of recently. So if you've got, a deck that could utilize a card like this, again, maybe a 5-color deck, or a deck that really wants to be able to fix colors, or a deck that maybe likes to, turn lands into creatures, this indestructible land can be great. And speaking of a 5-color land that has been in need of a reprint, this one came out all the way back in Odyssey. That's right, I'm talking about Crystal Quarry. It can tap for a color, so you can pay 5 into it and tap it for Wooburg. So basically, again, it can really help out with mana fixing. And like I mentioned, this card has never seen a reprint. It originally came out in Odyssey, which, yeah, that was like right around when I first started playing Magic a long time ago. So at $2.76, that is a massive price drop from where this card's price has been. Taking a look at the MTGstocks.com chart, I mean, even 3 years ago, this card was over $5. And as of recently, I mean, when more and more, great 5-color commanders come out, the price on a card like this is going to just keep going up. Recently, this card was $10. So yeah, now just basically like 1/4 of the price at $2.75. So make sure you pick this one up sooner rather than later if you've been waiting for this price to drop. Next up, how about yet another great land, and one that actually can fit into any deck out there? Let's talk about Miko Koro, Center of the Sea. This legendary land can tap for a colorless, and you can pay 2 to tap it, and each player draws a card. So this can be great for group hug decks, or decks that really just need to utilize lands to ensure that they can fill their hand when needed. Or again, if you've got a deck that, is legendary tribal themed, yeah, this legendary land can help out with that too. Regardless, at just $1.14, it is nearly within my own budget restrictions, but not quite. But as you can see, yeah, this card has hovered around $2 or $3 for quite some time. So yeah, with this reprint, you are getting a good discount. Again, just basically paying, either like, half or less than half of that price. So if you've been waiting for this card to be more budget friendly, pick this one up. Finally, how about a card that is, well, probably more expensive than, other ones I typically highlight, but the price discount is massive on this card. Let's talk about Chiso, Death Storehouse. It's a legendary land that, well, does not come into play tapped. You can tap for a black, or you can pay a black and tap, and target legendary creature gains fear until end of turn, which of course means that it can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. This is the first reprinting of this land that has not, seen a reprint ever since Champions of Kamigawa when it came out. Okay, I guess technically there's a mystery booster retail edition foil, which is slightly cheaper, but still, that really didn't impact the price all that much. Let's just say this is the first actual reprinting. Anyways, yes, this card is still $8.09, but that is a far cry from the price where this used to be. Because as you can see, I mean, this card has been well over $15 for quite some time. I mean, back in 2014, the price just started spiking. Up in 2016, went to over $40, and recently it was right around there as well. Of course, I mean, this land can be fantastic at, basically making your commander unblockable in many circumstances, so yeah, I mean, there's a reason why it's a fantastic land. And why it's commanded such a high price tag, so yeah, you're getting quite the cost savings, and yeah, I'm not sure when this one's going to be printed next, so $8, again, not a price that I would pay for a card, but one that I definitely wanted to highlight for those of you that have been waiting for this to be more budget friendly. And again, a quick reminder, make sure you check out that card list link in the description below for all the cards I talked about on this episode. And with that, the show is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts on this episode are, and as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.